Hey guys, what's up? It's Brent from Pop Punk Fridays, and we are back with another Showcase Sunday, and we're back with another guest. And who's with us this week?
Well, he did such a good job last week, we had to bring him back. Our buddy Mike from Bury My Heart. Thanks for coming back.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me back. Happy to be here. I could talk punk rock forever.
You're officially a recurring guest.
I could do this forever. Yeah. This is my jam.
And Mike, got this week for the showcase.
This week we're gonna check out the band Last Letters and their song "I Love You, Amy Smart."
I like the on the nose title.
All right, let's see what it's all about.
Cool. I'm sorry. I was out of line, okay?
You're an asshole.
She always said I was the one who caused all her pain. I'm easy to blame, but I can't take all of the credit. She'll have to accept it and live with the shame. Drinking too much, she says I'm not enough. I'm easy to love, but this time we're fine. I didn't fucking lie to you. I called all the time just to see another side of you. You always kept me waiting and I didn't know what to do. It feels like the chemistry we once had is dead and gone. You'd always call on the phone, say that you're drunk and alone, and that you can't feel anything. She always trying to leave me. 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 You're mad at the fact that I didn't fucking lie to you. Called all the time just to see another side of you. You always kept me waiting and I didn't know what to do. It feels like the chemistry we once had is dead and gone. You'd always call on the phone, say that you're drunk and alone, and that you can't feel anything. She always said I was the one. She always said I was the one. But she always tried to leave me. She always tried to leave me. She always said I was the one. She always said I was the one. But she always tried to leave me.
You love lyric videos, Brent.
Oh my God, do I love that video so much. You know what it feels like? This is honest. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. A lyric video with that type of pop punk feels like some sort of late 90s, early 2000s teen comedy movie where they're going to fade away from those intros and it's just like two dudes walking through some generic quad at a high school or a college and it's going to roll into their debauchery of a weekend or spring break or whatever. Like it has so much nostalgia to me in that way. I don't know what it is about lyric videos. They get me every time.
Especially when all the words are 2 or 3 letters.
Yeah,
You know, like two word. It was the time. It was everything is like.
Yeah, it probably doesn't hurt that the song is literally about Amy Smart, who starred in half those movies. So
Yeah, he hit that part of it. I thought, right? Like made that like that joint that part of it was really, that was accomplished well by the songwriter.
yeah, I think it had it's nostalgic in a different way than the song we did last week with you, Mike. Like it's nostalgic to like that early Blink-ish type quick.
American Pie.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. That was exactly
that more like pop punk kind of stuff versus like skate hardcore punk kind of stuff. Like it's got a little bit more of that massive MTV kind of appeal.
What's kind of funny is, you know, the like the processing of the vocal in that. It's got that like, you know, it's got that like kind of like it's affected. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty, and that's like part of the sound. That was part of the thing. But it was funny. It's sometimes like the guys like the guys in Blink 182, like their vocals were pretty processed too, and you could sort of hear that as well. But it wasn't as processed as you might think. And like same with the guitars. Like when I listen to this, like the guitars are like, they sound fine, but they're very, very like affected. Like there's just tons of liquid and reverb and choruses and stuff on it. And the truth is, like, one of the things that I've noticed is a lot of the bands that everybody really likes, like when you actually listen to the recordings, it's actually not like, even though sometimes that's what it sounds like when it's mixed and it's all in there and glued together, a lot of the time the individual instrumentation is actually cleaner and actually like less processed than you might think, especially like, you know, compared to like, you know, like a band like Blink, if you listen to like their early stuff, it was actually just kind of like, a lot of it's just a distorted guitar, you know? But, and then, you know, a couple like little effects on the bass and a little bit of overtone, but they definitely pulled those, definitely had that vibe to it for sure.
So knowing that a song is kind of like affected that way, does that, like, do you like it more or less because of that? Or it just depends on, I guess, everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Like yeah, I mean, I'm not, I don't know. I have a, you know, I kind of have a warm place in my heart for like really like overprocessed pop punk to some degree. You know, I've noticed that that's the stuff that doesn't stay as well. You know, like I probably wouldn't like, I don't much reach for like a Sum 41 record as I would for a Bad Religion record, sort of for that reason, you know, like it's just a different sound. And I don't dislike anything really in that regard. Like I just I'm a huge punk rock fan, regardless of pop punk or, you know, heavy, you know, hardcore and, you know, metal punk or whatever. But I really, it is really pretty like processed. Like that is the one thing that kind of stood out to me. But like the songwriting was like, you know, it was to that genre of American Pie, I think. It was like,
yeah. Such
Mike,
like a
Mike, were you saying that this guy, like, it's just one guy that made the song?
So I think this is like his project, and he sort of plays all the instruments and does all the producing, I think, himself. So I think that's pretty cool, especially
that blows my mind.
Yeah. Well, and Mike, you're telling us that that's kind of how you guys do a lot of your stuff too, right? Is you do it in your home. I mean, COVID's created a lot of these scenarios where people that want to make music, I mean, just figure out ways to do it and become really good at like figuring out that stuff and mixing music and writing stuff and learning to play all the different instruments and all the different effects and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
Wait, are you saying that PPF's gonna make their own song? Is that where you're leaning towards?
I feel absolutely terrible for the people that have to listen to the three of us sing. So
I call being the guy from Mighty Mighty Boss Tones who just dances.
No, that's my job. I've already called.
No, we can't all be the dancer.
No, you could be the guy from Avail who just dances.
there you go.
You know, they got Bo from Avail. He just dances too. Yeah, no, they're it's interesting. That song really like was I don't know, it's funny. I can't put my finger on exactly what it sounds like, but it like reminds me of another song that I've heard. But maybe it's just sort of all those influences sort of coming together.
Yeah. I think that's his thing, right? He's going for that sort of like early 2000s nostalgic vibe, hit that sort of American Pie crowd.
And a ton of people are going to dig that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the like kind of like the like Blink or like Newfound Glory kind of like.
Well, that's Brent's like Achilles heel right there. You just
you know what I mean. It's got that like it has a little bit of that. But the thing about Newfound Glory that I thought was kind of cool was they would add like kind of hardcore breakdowns, even though it was straight pop punk, and I always thought that was kind of nifty and cool. That's something that I really like. I mean, you'll hear that in Bury My Heart stuff, right? It's like I really like stuff where it's like you know, lyrically it's dark, but musically it's super melodic, or it's like lyrically it's super melodic, but like rhythmically it's like thrashing away kind of thing. And those intersections are so cool. Newfound Glory did that well. I mean, this song is a little more like, I don't know, there was like a little bit of like a descendancy kind of like pop melodic sense that I wanted it to kind of go more that way, but it definitely kind of veered more into the, you know, some of that kind of Blink-182 stuff that is cool too.
All right, so better opinions. Now we got to score, guys. So, Mike, as the guest, you get to go first. You know the drill this week.
I would say it's like, say like an 8, like a solid 8. Like, you know, it was like a good song. Like, I mean, it's like, it wasn't bad. There was nothing where it was like, oh, you know, it's horribly out of tune, or it's like, you know, that's just terrible, or like, but it was like, I don't know, like, I feel like, you know, the song could have maybe gone somewhere else that it didn't necessarily go, but I liked some of the breakdowny kind of things that were kind of cool in there. You know, musically it sounded kind of fun and it was cool. Like I said, I would probably like maybe strip it back and see what it sounds like a little raw, and then slowly, you know, build in anything extra sounds and stuff. But sometimes when you rely too much on those sounds, it's like, it's cool, but it's like you lose track of what the song is. But I'd say an 8, you know, it's solid, it's good.
Okay, I'm going first this time for the PPF crew because we know I'm going to love this.
Yeah.
Every band that you guys have referenced are bands I love. I listen to Newfound Glory every single day of my life. So I'm going 8.5. I love this type of music. Nostalgia, the like sound, it's like fun. I totally agree with what you said, Mike, like where it's fun and poppy, but he's talking about like getting his heart broken, and there's something about that juxtaposition that I really like. And yeah, I'm an 8.5. And
I'm not surprised with that score from
yeah,
you.
yeah.
You had
I'm the
you
one
had
with
hard
bias.
eyes the whole time.
Yeah.
Heart
I heard the
emojis.
first guitar note and I was like, well, that's an 8.5. Okay,
Yeah.
and what do you got, man?
Well, the song took me back to kind of like what we were talking about, like that American Pie movie vibe. You know, like if I had to compare it to something, it was like Mutt from Blink-182, which I believe was on the American Pie soundtrack. Was it not? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're in it, right? Aren't they in it?
Yeah, I think you're right. But like it wasn't my style, but it wasn't bad. So like when I was listening to the song, it was just basically like a straight line for me. There was no like climax, there was no downside to it either. I'm probably gonna have to score it like a 7.6. Overall, it was decent, but again, not necessarily my style of punk. But
Yet another week where we basically even each other out
Yeah.
because our two tastes are complete opposites.
complete opposite.
Yeah. So blended heartache. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah. So it's funny because like Brent and Ann can be like so polar opposites sometimes on certain genres of music. And I find that it's like there's some stuff that I love that is like very similar to Brent. And then there's some of the stuff like the skate punk kind of stuff that I'm like right on board with Ann. This week I am on Team Brent because
Hey.
I love that song. I don't know what it is. It was fun. It was like one of those songs where it's like by the end of the first chorus, you know all the words to that chorus, and you're ready to sing it for round 2. And I dig that. I think it's like it's playing to that audience of that American Pie kind of
It kind of
nostalgia.
had Stacey's mom vibes to it
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a little bit of
Big time.
Stacey's mom.
Yeah.
It was like Stacey's mom might have known Amy Smart. Like they
Oh,
were
yeah.
like friends.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
They're in the same sorority.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, totally. Something like that. Yeah.
And you know what? I dig it. To me, there's music that I'm really into, and it's because of the music, and there's music that I'm into because it's just like reminds me of the good times, reminds me of good vibes and stuff like that. And that's what I get from that song is just like, it's just like, reminds me of like good times with my buddies back in like just after high school, kind of like college years, just having fun, listening to music, not worrying too much about it. So I loved it. I'm gonna go 8.7 for me.
Oh,
So we're all over the map.
so
Yeah,
all over
we
the
are.
map on this one. But that's like that. There's nothing wrong with that because
Yeah,
I definitely think that there's like certain bands are not always for everyone, and it's good to find the stuff you love and just stick with it. And I don't know.
I think that's one of my favorite parts about punk, right? Like there's so
Yeah.
many, you say punk and that's niche.
Yeah.
And then there's a million little tiny niche pockets within punk
Yeah.
where
Totally.
like you're
Mhm.
like, oh, I like Newfound Glory and Easy Core, so I'm in this little corner, and then you guys like skate punk and you're up in this corner, but we
Yeah.
all meet in the middle because we all like whoever.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know, that's my favorite part about punk.
Yeah.
And if you go deep enough into any of the holes, you usually end up in another one.
Yeah.
That's-
Exactly.
That's the thing about punk rock that's funny is it's like,
So that's it for this week. Mike down in the corner froze, so he's not here to sign off. But you got our scores, last letters, great throwback. I think I'm gonna go watch American Pie right now. I feel inspired. Everyone, that's your homework for the week. We'll see you next week on the Sunday Showcase. Bye, guys.
Peace.